Okay, so here's some instruction on coming up with symmetrical design. And so let me just restate that we're exploring possibilities of design here. We're not, I mean, you can try and come up with some big idea, but I think that a lot of times you can just explore with your shapes and your line and textures and come up with really beautiful ideas. And so you can let your elements and principles of design guide you through the process to develop your ideas. Okay, so we'll talk more about that. All right, but right now we're looking at thinking about coming up with some symmetrical design, and I usually present this with how to make a bracelet. Okay, you do not have to make a bracelet, but it does give you enough room to explore a bunch of different things. Okay, and it's impressive when you're done with it. All right, so we usually make the C cuff style of bracelet. Okay, and so for that, there's usually some variation in size, but typically that length is 5.5 inches in length. Now the metal I gave you is 2x6, so you should be able to make that work. All right, but you would need a measure. All right, so here I have cut off a strip of paper, and I like to use paper. I don't really like to use string because it has a little bit too much flex to it and it's harder to get a better reading. So the piece of paper kind of behaves like metal does. All right, that said, I am going to take that, and when you're doing a C-cuff bracelet, you have to allow for about an inch and a half opening. So here I am, I'm putting that down. That's where that would go. That's where that would go. There I am at about an inch opening. I can make that maybe a smidge and smaller. There we go. There's my length. Let's see, what did I come in at? I'm at my 12-inch mark. About 6 inches, but I'm a big bone girl, so I could probably take a little more off of that. I find younger people are a little more petite bone, not always, but that would be your average size. That's about a 1/2 inch off. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this extra, like so. And indeed, what did I come in on? There I am, just a little over 5.5 inches. Okay, so if I then fold that in half, that gives me the center of my measure, right? And so with the center of my measure, this part right here is going to be right that part of your bracelet, right? All right. So here I am. I think this is also, yeah, that's 5.5 inches. How about that? So we're going to end up pretty much designing to the length of this. Let's see. Yep, that'll be just fine. Okay, so this line here, of course, again, represents the top center. And here, when I fold my paper, I am making sure that I'm kind of lining my edges up parallel to the edge of my paper. So here I am. I'm going to take that here. And you can do this. You have patty paper in there. If your paper is a little bit short, you can add a little bit of length later. Because I think that patty paper is 5-inch by 5-inch, right? And so you might end up too short there. And I'm going to say that again. You might end up too short if you use the patty paper. All right. All right, so there I've got my perpendicular fold for my symmetry. All right, so I'm going to start with just exploring some ideas, some design without, again, the big idea. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to put down a nice line. And I think, and it will play out pretty quick. There's a nice wiggly line. And that's going to, like I say, it's going to come out play out pretty quick. So just a reminder, I'm being really careful with my tracing. I'm not doing a fast tracing because I'm trying to keep it symmetrical. I'm drawing light so that my line stays thin. And I'm taking my time. Because well planned is well made. And if you kind of careen on your corners and stuff, it'll show up as sloppy. And people will be like, you made that? Okay, we want them to be like, you made that? Right? The difference. All right, so there's my first line. Oh, see, I think that could play out really pretty. Yeah? Okay. All right, so here, now I'm going to trace it out this way. I'm just going to fold this way. I know, this seems almost like elementary school, doesn't it? We did this stuff in tracing our lines in elementary, but now we get to use it. I'm taking my time, I'm being careful, not careening, being careful. I'm using my mechanical pencil. Yep. Okay, so now I'm coming in on my full shape of the silhouette shape of the bracelet. Silhouette shape, outside line. Okay. Outside line using silhouette shape. All right, there we go. Oh, did I? Ms. Bunch, with my tracing paper, I just traced on the other side. How about that? Okay, so here's a little design trick. Let's see, which side did I draw? I guess I got the line on both sides. This should work. Okay, I'm going to just take this. I'm going to fold it this way. Now, this is a good kind of transferring design trick. And take that. Now I could make sure I have this folded. I'm going to trace this side, but I'm going to make a print off of that. So I've got pencil lead on this side, right? I'm going to take something I can rub with. I'm just going to come in here, give it the old rub-a-dub. I think this is going to work just fine. Let's see what we get. Look at that. Art magic. Get a little shadow print from your pencil. You can also do that. A lot of times, I'll just trace on my line, and look, I can make another shadow print with my pencil, right? Just give it a rub directly onto your blank paper. You can transfer that line. See? Yeah, well, here we are. You see that? Then I can trace over that. It's like making your own carbon paper. All right, but I'm just going to come back over here. I'm going to just trace it this way. But yeah, I use that little rubbing the back of the line a lot to transfer design. Now, what I am going to be, one of the things that I'm going to be looking for as your art teacher is that you are actually designing. You're not just tracing something. And so one of the things, this is kind of the legal issue with tracing and stuff. When you trace design, you're effectively stealing that person's design. As a designer of myself, not a designer of myself, as a designer myself, yeah, if someone takes my design, I want the money for that because I designed it, right? So it's really bad form to be tracing other people's work. So yeah, we usually like being inspired by other people's work. Now that's different. It's great to be inspired by other people's work. But you got to change it. You got to like further the design equation, right? Carry the story a little bit further. Shake it up. Make it your own. So to do that, you've got to change a design at least 3 proportional ways. So that means that you do not just like put a bow on it, right? That's not changing it proportionally. That's just slapping something else on there. So you have 3 proportional changes. That could be changing the borders. Just usually if you just hand draw something and not trace it, you're going to come up with your own proportions, and that's good. Okay, so I've got kind of an amoeba type shape for my silhouette shape for my bracelet. But I want some interior cut work for this. So how am I going to shake this up? All right, so I'm going to put in another shape. Not pre-thinking. And so I'm going to do this from the inside right there. And I can flip that over, do the other side, right? See? Starting to like it. It's gonna be cool. Oh yeah, that makes all the difference. I think I need something in here too. I want to kind of make it look splash. It feels like it's kind of a splash thing going to me. So I'm gonna go like that. Put a little, give it some flow. Oh yeah. It's looking kind of fun now. All right, so 3 designs, 3 symmetrical designs. Tracing carefully here. Here's the next one. All right, and my drop here. All right, how am I looking? Oh, that looks all right. I don't want these touching. I want that to be a little. All right. I think I need something right here too, huh? What do you think? Now I'm gonna have a separate video just for, I think I'm gonna repeat this. Thinking of my elements and principles of design, I was thinking, this kind of gets repeated in these shapes, but I really don't have this shape here. So I'm gonna kind of repeat that, elements, principles, right? I've got some flow and I've got repetition of my curves. In this area, all kind of leading up into the center. That's my emphasis area. So whatever you end up at the very end, I'm going to have you write a couple of sentences about the elements and principles, how it's applying to your design. So you know that's coming. Oh yeah, I like that. All right, what else can I add to this? All right, what else? I could put a little drill circle right here. Maybe I'll use the smaller drill circle than the smallest drill circle. Ooh, I like it. And I'm going to add, keep repeating that. Oh, yeah, this looks good to me. There, yeah, here. Okay, so those the gradated dots, I think that's a nice detail, and you don't have to saw it, you just have to change the drill bit, right? Remember to center punch that. All right, so that was one design, and I'm asking for 3 symmetrical. So what was that, 10 minutes? We got one of those designs. Now, let's say, okay, I like this, but I really don't want to wear it. So maybe I'm just going to do, or I'm going to do a series. Maybe I'm going to work with that for the next one. Okay. Or maybe I'm going to just do this lower part and turn that into a pair of earrings. Part of that. I don't know. It's up to you. Sometimes we design something and then we deconstruct it and kind of construct it into something else. I don't know, just food for thought. Okay, so that's one. Did I have the big idea on this bracelet beforehand? No, but I think that would look really, really kind of pretty. I explored my way into that design. Just playing with base shapes, all right? You can have, if you wanted to do another base shape, sure, you could do that. Kind of do it. Oh well, you'll figure that out. But okay, so that's a nice demo on how to approach symmetrical design.